Previously on Stump Kitchen.
And really what I'm trying to do is help inspire people with disabilities to cook and to find a way to live their best life. I have actually been cooking, flip this all back, since I was 8.
You know, what it's like for you to have a limb difference, and like, do you have any, positive or negative stories to tell?
Stump Kitchen, gluten-free, vegan eats, stumptastic treats.
The response that you made to the Witches movie, I thought was really, really well done.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciated that. So just thank you for putting that out there. I think that, like, a lot of people misunderstood why there was backlash against the Witches movie, and a lot of people were like, it's not a big deal, like, limb differences, I didn't even know those existed, blah blah blah. It's like, but you've never been in that situation where somebody has a monster or who had, in your case, screamed at you, and you've had to make them feel better, and that just makes me feel so gross inside. And I shared the example of, in school and throughout, where activities where you have to go in a circle and hold each other's hands, like, I dread day, and I bet you do too, because of that uncomfortable moment of like, oh, am I going to make them feel weird? Am I going to make them scared or whatever?
Yep.
Like, a gross way to go through life. So your response was really, really great.
Thank you. And I was so upset when I was writing that. Like, I was shaking. My husband looked at me and he's like, oh, honey, are you okay? And I was like, I don't know. And it again shows you I saw a lot of responses of the same thing. The people are like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, okay, that's clearly not your life. I get that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's still, what are we fighting for? We're fighting to show people that we aren't monsters. I mean, I got called a monster since I was like a little kid, or a mutant. It's so crazy. But we got to keep pushing forward with this, and scraping this out. But I've had other things happen, and it's really, the whole hand thing definitely is seeds going everywhere. It's definitely a thing. And shaking hands. I get the, I reach in not thinking about it sometimes, and people rip their hand back.
Oh.
Right? So they either don't shake it because they see it coming in, or they touch my hand and rip it back and then get a stone cold look on their face and might not talk to me. Yeah. Some might ask me a question. Some people just walk away. And and it's just, I never know what I'm going to get, but I'm trying to always be the one to go forward and show them that I am still confident in who I am, and that you're going to have to deal with this one way or the other, and it's not my problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So what, do you have any examples of, like, when somebody has, like, you've shaken their hand and they've had an appropriate reaction? Like, what's that like?
It's actually kind of refreshing, because you can see the whole story play out on their face.
Yeah.
So when they don't have the initial, like, and their hand rips back, you see the question look on their face.
Yeah.
And they think about it for a minute, and then sometimes they just smile, or, like, it's in the eyes. Like, you have a connection with somebody where they like, okay, I realize this. It's all okay. I'm still smiling. I'm telling you that it's okay. And then we just keep going on from there.
That is beautiful. And that's exactly what you want, That's so, so good. And it's probably people like that who have known someone, or who have people in their life who have experienced disability, or who are disabled, or who have a limb difference or whatever, or, it just, I think experiences like that can really open us up to more kindness and just, like, basic awareness of, like, hi, we're humans too.
I'm a human.
That's so cool.
I'm not an alien overtaking our planet.
So moving, like, back into the kitchen, do you have a favorite cooking tool, something that you just cannot cook without?
It's like the whole kitchen, I think, really. I mean, everybody needs a knife of some sort. You need something to chop.
Yeah.
And so this is actually my favorite knife.
It's really nice.
And I'll tell you why it's my favorite knife. I've tried a lot of other kitchen knives because you get, where is it? Just sort of comparison.
Mm-hmm.
The standard chef's knife, right? Yeah. This looks really awkward with me holding it with one finger because it's not stable.
Yeah.
Much for me to wield. It's like a, something else. But this one is the perfect size. And I can hold it 2 ways. That's what's really cool. I can hold it because it's thin. Let me move my hand. It's narrow around, I don't know if you can see this part.
That little crook, yeah.
So I can fit it perfectly in my hand.
Love it. Mm-hmm.
Right? Almost all the way around.
Nice.
And it's small enough for my 2 hands to figure this out.
Yeah.
But if I need a little bit more stability, I still have enough space because this is deep enough that I can slip it. I don't know if you can see how I'm doing it. Yeah. Slip it under, rest it on my hand, and then if I'm doing something more fine, I have a little bit more stability. But it depends on what I'm cooking. Here I need the grip from above.
Yeah.
Peppers, I'm standing up too tall. Peppers, I can do like this with some more control. So it really kind of depends. This is the funny part. I don't really have adaptive equipment in the kitchen.
Yeah, you just use what you need, right? Like you just do it in your own way.
Yeah, because nothing was ever really available.
Yeah.
We adapt to what's around. And sometimes it's hunting for the thing that fits you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not just accepting that everything is gonna, everything has to work. Because that big knife doesn't work for me.
This is just the can opener that I really like. Look at that bright stuff. Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. It sits on top of the can and it squeezes together really easily, and then I can just kind of do it like that or use my stump and my thumb.
Yeah.
More user friendly. Otherwise I'm like kind of blow my elbow and like try to hold it like that. Fine too, but so it's not like specially made for that, but it's great for me. But I totally agree. I think I also don't use any adaptive materials in the kitchen per se, but a good sharp knife that feels good is so important. So important. Yeah.
It really is. And that's gonna make it. If you feel comfortable with your knife and you have found a way to use it safely, right? Because I don't really cut myself because I say I don't have enough fingers to get in the way.
Yeah.
Right? There's not enough to really get hurt here.
So yeah, people ask me all the time, like, oh, are you worried about cutting off one of your little fingers, your little nubbins? And I'm like, well, they're not really that big and they kind of don't get in the way anyway. But so how are you going to cut your onion for this? Like I think I know what I want to do, but what are you going to do for this roast? Because you don't want to just dice it up really small. Like how are you going to cut it for this veggie roast?
Well, I'm only going to use one. Otherwise, I think if it was a normal day, I'd use more than one, but it's just an example today. I think I'm going to cut it into like little wedges.
Yes, I totally agree. Okay.
It needs to be, right, because we need to have the size a little bit bigger because these take longer to cook.
So how do you, what's your technique for wedges?
I'm going to go pole to pole.
Yeah.
Cutting it that way so we don't get the root. Oh, here, let me move my bowl here. I mean, I sharpened my knife before, so I'm gonna, we'll work on this.
Yeah.
And it depends on the onion too. Some onions are worse than others. See if we can get this done fast. Sometimes I like to cut them and put them in water. And it's just sometimes it helps with that. There we go. Ta-da! We're okay so far.
Yeah.
We're okay.
It's like you're reading my mind. That's exactly what I've done as well. Like I cut them whole to whole, peeled, and now what are you gonna do next? I just kind of followed the grain of the onion. I was like cluck, 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 kind of.
Yep, that's what I was gonna do. Just keep it simple.
Beautiful. Show me your beautiful wedges. Like, look at them. They're just gorgeous. Yes.
Nice big chunks so that will cook.
Yeah.
And then it'll fall apart. Then you'll get all these nice, beautiful little flakes later.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh.
I want to see. Let's see your situation. Here's
Okay. I have a huge pan. I haven't put them all in there yet because I'm gonna do something.
Love it. What are you gonna do? You think like I'm gonna do? What kind of oil do you like to use?
I use olive oil most of the time. I have regular olive oil and extra virgin. Yep. Well, I'll tell you what I do with, especially in the fall with the nice harvest goodies. Yeah. Cinnamon, smoked paprika, garlic, salt, like granulated garlic, salt, and pepper.
BRB. Don't do anything without me.
I won't. I'll wait.
Yeah, cinnamon and granulated garlic.
There you go.
I'm so glad that I asked because I knew I was going to learn something from you today, and this is exciting. And like when I cook, I just want to put whatever amount. I don't really measure anything. Do you like to measure, or are you kind of like whatever?
It's a whatever deal. So when people are like, "Ooh, can I have the recipe?" I'm like, "Ooh, I have to go make it."
Yeah, you want to jump in the frame? Yeah.
If you could be next to me and watch, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is, it already smells amazing. Like the cinnamon and the smoked paprika together. Holy cow.
It's fantastic. I love to do, well, not the cinnamon, but the smoked paprika on some like big fries.
Ooh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like my magic ingredient in everything. A little flair.
Yeah. So why, like, maybe one of my last couple questions for you will be like, why did you start Fingerless Kitchen? Like, how did that come about, and like, why did you decide to put that out into the world? And what's that been like? Like, how did that public part of your journey start?
Oh, well, this really all started. I know, well, it's a big question because there's so much. Yeah. This really started maybe more than 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was doing social work, and it was kind of like, I love cooking, and there's nobody out there. Like there was, like I said before, no cookbooks, no cooking shows. There wasn't social media like this. There was nothing. And I'm thinking, okay, if people with disabilities are part of every single demographic across the globe,
yeah,
and we all eat, we have to eat. We need to nourish ourselves, right? And it just, I love to cook so much, but there was nobody like me, right? There's nobody to be that inspiration, to be that role model, to say, hey, you can do this, we can figure it out, even if you can't do it all by yourself. Like how disability can be part of the kitchen, even if it's just a little bit. Like, so, because everybody's disability is on such a range.
Yeah, absolutely.
That, like my sister, she can't do it by herself, but she can do a lot by herself. But she needs someone to help guide her through. But she loves to be a part of the kitchen.
Yeah. So,
I don't know. I just saw the whole. And this is, maybe just like 9 years at this point. And I started writing recipes and taking pictures and going, okay, I'm going to do this. I had such, high hopes. And then I got into the, I can't do this. I got into the, I'm not worthy enough. Who am I to do this? I'm no expert, right? Like I went into that whole spiral of like,
right? Like imposter syndrome, where you think like, no, yeah, totally understand.
Be like, who's gonna listen to me, right? Like who,
Yep.
who's gonna follow me?
Yep.
But I wanted to show that people with disabilities can do it, and I wanted to show other people that even if you don't have a disability, you can do it because, right? Most of it's up here. There are limitations to people's abilities, and I do get that. But it's so much in our head. And if people had someone to help them through it and recognize it, then we can do it, and we can show them that they can have a really good life with a disability. Because so many people don't.
Yeah. If we had, the ability to kind of navigate the ways that our society really serves to make it inaccessible for so many people. Like our world is not built for disabled people. It's not built because, well, for lots of, gross reasons, but like, we can start to change that narrative and to kind of work in that more equitable and inclusive model to be like, yep, we're gonna, navigate these systems together. Maybe even try to start to change the system. That would be amazing too. So I think what you're saying makes so much sense for a better world, I just want to eat this raw. I won't.
Smells good, doesn't it?
It smells so good. Like the cinnamon and the smoked paprika together is just like so good. So I'm gonna pop mine in the oven.
Okay.
What did you cook yours at?
I just went standard. It's at 350 because I've got the pork loin in there too. So
as you're kind of oiling up your last veggies, what like how can people find you and find out more about you?
So you can find me. I mean, the Fingerless Kitchen. You can find me at thefingerlesskitchen.com, the Fingerless Kitchen on Facebook, the Fingerless Kitchen on Instagram. That's really kind of, I think, my main ones. I do have YouTube, but I've been neglecting it for a while. This whole pandemic and stuff has put a cramp in my style. So I'm trying to find my groove again, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. Do you ever see this for yourself? But what I notice with my disability is that because I have to do things with two hands a lot.
Yeah.
You have only one finger. You need both hands to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Which makes it, you end up having to do more steps.
Yes.
Right? There's always more steps to one simple task than just picking up something. They're like, oh, just pick it up. I'm like, what do you mean just pick it up? It's like, okay, now I got to figure out where to position my body relative to whatever object I have to pick up. And then I got to think, do I have to pick it up holding it like here or like here? And you have to think about it. Like you have to stop and think about it. It becomes natural over time. But like when I was done breastfeeding my son because he just was too hungry, and you start on bottles, and the simple task is you prop a kid up, you grab the bottle, you put it in their mouth. That doesn't work for me.
No.
It doesn't work. So it's like, okay, sit on the couch. I need something to prop up my legs. Okay, so lay the baby flat on your legs while you go get the bottle and put like the bottle here, right? So the bottle's in my neck, right? You're going like this and the baby's bouncing. You're like, Jesus, I hope this is okay. He's not gonna roll over. And then you're like, okay, now push the baby up, get him here. Okay, you've adjusted. Now you're like, okay, ready, and drop. Drop the bottle. Work on it, right? And you're like, okay, we can do this. And then you're like, oh, thank God. There's the bottle, right? And
It's sport.
how many steps? It's just,
Yeah.
there's so much more to think about every single time you do something that, I think it gets a little exhausting.
I absolutely agree. Do you think that those extra steps in your life and in my life and in our lives, that sometimes it's those extra steps that actually help to create more space in our thinking for how other people might need to be accommodated or what they are going through in their own lives? Like, I kind of think so. What do you think about that?
Well, I definitely think so. And I think that with having a disability, we are more inclined to empathy, right? And being able to see like, oh God, it takes me all of this to complete one task. How is that for somebody else?
Yeah.
Right? How is this for somebody else? And the part that I think is really cool is because we're able to look at things in that manner, like be able to break it down into different steps and see beyond the just grab the bottle, put it in the baby's mouth, that it makes us great creative problem solvers. Because we can break that down and look at the intricate details of something that other people haven't had to do. And so disability, I think, is really an amazing for creative problem solving, and that it's an untapped potential for people out in the working world.
I love that so much. Ugh, you are such a joy to talk to. And like, I know this is not the last time. I know in my heart that we're now friends forever. I don't care what you say, we are now life friends.
That's it. It's over. We know where our life is going.
Yes, you're now friends. I have stated it and let it be so. So I cannot thank you enough. And I'll probably leave these babies in for like a good, 40 minutes. I'll check on them and then later I'll eat them in my belly. And thank you for being here. And I hope you have the most incredible holiday. And I can't wait to chat again. And for everyone watching, definitely check out the Fingerless Kitchen on all of the platforms, on Instagram, all of the things. And for me, if you haven't, you can subscribe to Stump Kitchen on YouTube, and you can support me on Patreon if you want to. And thanks so much for being here.
Okay, before we sign off, I just want to tell everybody, if you think you're all thumbs in the kitchen, I'm here to prove that you never needed them. Never. All right, bye for now from Stump Kitchen and the Fingerless Kitchen. Or wait, no? Oh my God. Why do I keep doing that?
Bye for now from Stump Kitchen, and
bye for now from the Fingerless Kitchen.
bye.
Stump Kitchen, Stump Kitchen.